Today I'm going to show y'all 3 things y'all need to do to your photos on Lightroom to really tie the photo together and just really secure your place on social media. So let's get into it. I really wish this mic was just a little bit taller so I didn't have to hunch, really sitting here. Okay, so tip number 1 is going to be putting a matte finish on your photo. So have you ever looked at a photographer's post and you kind of notice there's a glaze over it? It's kind of matte. It's kind of almost like you're shooting through fog maybe. That's what I'm going to show you how to apply right now. So this is a photo I took of a house that looks like a church a few weeks ago. And I've already done my basic edits to this photo already. So this is usually the last touch I do on a photo because it kind of distorts the colors a little bit. And you don't really want that while tweaking your colors. So we'll just scroll down from the top of the menu right here and we'll get down to this tone curve section. All you got to do, go down here to where this little black dot is at the bottom of the tone curve, and you'll see it pops up like a little arrow slider thing, and just click that and just drag it up as far as you need to, and you can see that the photo is starting to turn kind of matte, and you just kind of want to play around with it and see just where you're comfortable with dragging that slider. And I will say that I do recommend doing this on cloudier day photos, dark nighttime photos. This one is honestly not the best example. I'll pop up a picture from my Instagram that I took of my friend Grant, and that photo really shines with this element added to it. It really just ties in the blacks because it lifts up the blacks a lot. It doesn't do too much to the highlights, but it looks amazing. If you're trying to tie your Instagram together super well, this does a great job at doing that. I used to do it on my Instagram photos. I haven't done it recently, but I plan to start doing it again because it made my Instagram feed look so seamless. Even though the photos were nowhere close together, it just ties every photo in together with just that small little fade. I don't know. It looks cool though. Tip number 2. You can see that the sky is just kind of bland and it was shot midday, so there's just not much happening up there. It's blue sky, good lighting and everything, but nothing really pops. So what we're going to do is we're going to go over here and click on the mask button. Slide down to linear gradient, and then it'll pop up this little doodad. And this is essentially just a list, where you keep track of your gradients if you didn't know. Okay, so now that we added a linear gradient, you'll have this little cross thing on your mouse. And you can just click and drag. Don't worry about being too specific because we can make adjustments moving forward. But I'm going to just kind of pull it to right about there. And that seems pretty solid to start with. And then before we make any other adjustments with the size and angle of this mask, we're going to go over to our little sliders over here. And we're going to raise the exposure until it looks pretty bright, not too overexposed, but really shining through. Next, we're going to go to the top, hit this temperature slider, and move that all the way to a nice warm tone that really makes it look like the sun is just beaming up in the sky. And now this is just where you want to kind of play with it and adjust it and just see what you like. And if you want to rotate this, there's this little tab coming off the side right here, and you just pull and drag and get the different angles going. So the key with this is really making it look natural, and you don't want to overdo it. Subtlety is your best friend in this case. Alright, so now I kind of got it to a place that I like it. You can see it looks nice, it's glowing. And just in case you don't realize what it's really done, I'm going to go up here, hide it, and look at that. There's a huge difference that it's made to the whole picture just by adding that subtle little detail right there to just make that sun pop. It almost gives it a golden hour effect. Okay, and for our third tip, I'm not going to tell you it yet because first I'm going to show you all a time lapse of me editing this because I haven't quite edited it just yet. Alright, so I just finished that edit and I think it turned out pretty well. There's the before and there's the after. Tip number 3 is going to be going down here to the very bottom and adjusting the calibration. Calibration is a big deal here, folks. This is what adjusts kind of the whole color profile of your whole image. So when you change your red, it's going to change every other color associated with red, which is pretty much most of them, if not all, depending on how much you adjust it. I've already done my basic edit to this image. This is now where I'm going to come in and calibrate it a little bit to give it some pop, give it some flair, just to give it my own color profile, I guess. So I don't really usually mess with the whole tint and the shadows. I usually mess with the red, green, and blue primaries because those are really what we're here for. And I just kind of start by, grabbing that red, seeing what it has to offer. I will say my computer's a little slow right now after doing that whole edit. She's been with me for a while and she's starting to get a little slow, so just patience. Okay, so those reds are going to be really nice. So that's the extreme orange, partially extreme orange, partially extreme red, and then there's red. I think I'm going to lean towards the partially extreme red. I take that back. We're going up to the beginning right here. And that just gives it like a nice, I don't know, it's kind of hard to explain, but I'm sure you can see what I'm talking about. And then I'll kind of play with the saturation of that. That seems pretty solid. Now I may need to desaturate the full image just a tad because it is getting kind of hefty. So moving on to the green primary. Like totally feel free to mess with the calibration at any time throughout your edit. But I just like to, do final adjustments at the end after I've got my colors dialed in, or else it gets kind of funky. But also I don't use the calibration to do my full color editing like some people. I really like how the green makes those like pinks pop almost. Okay, so if I go really high, okay, that's a little too pink. We need to come back a little more. And I'm just saying, like, just make finer adjustments with this because it's a powerful tool and you can really make your image look terrible. And then finally, I'm going to slap our good old histogram adjustment right here at the end to kind of mat it out. Once again, I'm going to show you all the before. That is the before. Pretty plain, pretty green, pretty blown out, pretty just gross. Like it is just, ugh. The colors are just not there. And then we're going to slap the edit on. Look at that. We got reds, we got oranges, we got greens, we got yellows, we got blues all coming out. A little sun flare in the top left corner. And I pretty much just applied all of those tips onto this photo right here. So yeah, I hope y'all found something helpful in this video today that you didn't already know. If you did, leave a like, maybe subscribe. And yeah, check out some of my other content. I'll see y'all next time. Peace out.